Hello, my name is Jiso and I'm reading Master Dōgen's Shōbōgenzō, and I'm just looking at the camera carefully because I just filmed this whole chapter of Shōbōgenzō in hyperlapse. I might even just put that up just for the fun of it. We are on chapter 68, Udonge, the Udumbara Flower. Udonge means the flower of a type of fig tree called Udumbara in Sanskrit. The Udumbara tree, Ficus glomerata, is a large tropical tree of the mulberry family, Moraceae. Its flowers grow around the fruit, so they look like peel rather than flowers. Because of this, people in ancient India considered the Udumbara to be flowerless. Consequently, they used the Udumbara flower as a symbol of something that rarely happens. For example, the realization of the Buddhist truth. In a Buddhist sutra called Daibonten o Mombutsu Ketsugi Kyo, the Sutra of Questions and Answers between Mahabrahman and the Buddha, there is a story that one day Gautama Buddha showed an Udumbara flower to an audience. No one could understand the meaning of Gautama Buddha's suggestion other than Master Maya Kasyapa, who smiled. In Chinese Buddhism, this story symbolized the transmission of the truth. So Master Dōgen used Udumbara flowers to explain the meaning of the transmission. Because Daibonten o Mombutsu Ketsugi Kyo was said to have been written in China, it was criticized by some Buddhists as not expressing Gautama Buddha's true intention. Master Dōgen, however, insisted in Shōbōgenzō chapter 74, Tenborin, that even if a Buddhist sutra was produced in China, after its words have been discussed by Buddhist masters, it becomes a Buddhist sutra which expresses the true intention of Gautama Buddha. We need not worry whether or not it was written in India. All right, let's do this. Before an assembly of millions on Vulture Peak, the world-honoured one picks up an Udumbara flower and winks. Thereupon the face of Maya Kasyapa breaks into a smile. The world-honoured one says, "I possess the right Dharma eye treasury and the fine mind of Nirvana. I transmit them to Maya Kasyapa." The 7 Buddhas and the many Buddhas are all in the same process of twirling flowers, which they have practiced and experienced and realized as twirling of flowers, the ascendant state, and which they have torn open and exposed as twirling of flowers down in the here and now. Thus, inside the concrete reality of twirling flowers, every instance of ascending and descending, or towards the self and towards others, or outwards and inwards and so on, is the totality of flowers displaying itself. It is the dimension of flowers, the dimension of Buddha, the dimension of the mind and the dimension of the body. All instances, however many, of the twirling of flowers are individual instances of the transmission from rightful successor to rightful successor. They are the actual existence of the transmission. Indeed, forget the world-honoured one's twirling of a flower. When just now a flower-twirling world-honoured one appears, that is the succession of the world-honoured one. Because the time of the twirling of flowers is the whole of time itself, it is the experience of the same state as the world-honoured one, and it is the same twirling of flowers. The meaning of twirling flowers is flowers displaying flowers. It is plum flowers, spring flowers, snow flowers, and lotus flowers. What has been called the 5 petals of a plum flower is the more than 360 orders, is the 5,048 scrolls, is the 3 vehicles and the 12 divisions of the teaching, and it is the 3 clever and 10 sacred stages. Therefore, it is beyond the 3 clever and the 10 sacred stages. The great treasury exists and miracles exist. They are described by the opening of flowers is the occurrence of the world. A flower has 5 petals opening, and the bearing of fruit is naturally realized. Describes the whole body already being hung upon the whole body. Losing the eyes on seeing peach blossoms, and having the ears disappear on hearing the green bamboo are present moments of twirling flowers. Being waist deep in snow and cutting off the arm, doing prostrations and attaining the marrow are flowers naturally opening. Pounding rice in a stone mortar and receiving the transmission of the robe in the middle of the night are flowers having already twirled. These are instances of the life source contained in the hand of the world-honoured one. In general, the twirling of flowers existed before the world-honoured one's realization of the truth. It was simultaneous with the world-honoured one's realization of the truth, and it has existed since the world-honoured one's realization of the truth. Thus, flowers are realizing the truth. The twirling of flowers has transcended by far such separate periods of time. Every Buddha's and every patriarch's establishment of the will to first steps in, practice and experience of, and maintenance of the truth are twirling flowers dancing like butterflies in the spring wind. This being so, because world-honoured one Gautama is now putting his body into flowers and has shrouded his body in space, we call being able to grasp nostrils and call having grasped space the twirling of flowers. Twirling flowers are twirled by eyes, twirled by mind consciousness, twirled by nostrils, and twirled by flowers twirling. In general, the mountains, rivers, and the earth, the sun and moon, the wind and rain, people, animals, grass and trees, the miscellaneous things of the present displaying themselves here and there are just the twirling of the Udumbara flower. Living and dying and going and coming are also a miscellany of flowers and the brightness of flowers. Our learning and practice like this in the present is the continuous process of twirling flowers. The Buddha says, it is like the Udumbara flower, which all love and enjoy. This all is Buddhist patriarchs of bodies apparent and hidden, and is the natural presence of brightness in grass, trees, and insects. All love and enjoy describes the skin, flesh, bones, and marrow of each individual just now being in the state of vigorous activity. Thus, all is totally the Udumbara flower, and so we call just this rare. A wink describes the moment in which, while the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, the bright star took the place of his eyes. In the moment, the face of Maya Kasyapa breaks into a smile. In this moment, the face of Maya Kasyapa breaks into a smile. The face has broken already, and its place has been taken by the face of twirling flowers. In the moment of the Tathagata's wink, we have already lost our eyes. This Tathagata's wink is just the twirling of flowers. It is Udumbara flowers opening at will. Even to the present, it has not ceased to be that. Just in the moment of the twirling of flowers, all Gautamas, all Maya Kasyapas, all living beings, and all of us are each holding out a hand and twirling flowers as one. Moreover, because we have samadhi as containment of the body inside the hand, we call it the 4 elements and the 5 aggregates. My possessing it is the transmission, and the transmission is my possessing it. The transmission is inevitably restricted by my possessing it. I possess is cerebral. In order to understand it, we must understand it by getting a grip on cerebral thinking. When we take what I possess and change it into the transmission, that is the maintenance of the right Dharma I treasury. The ancestral masters coming from the West was the coming of twirling flowers. Twirling flowers is called playing with the soul. Playing with the soul means just sitting and dropping off body and mind. Becoming a Buddha and becoming a patriarch is called playing with the soul. Putting on clothes and eating meals is called playing with the soul. In sum, the matter which is the ultimate criteria of a Buddhist patriarch is, in every case, playing with the soul. While we are being met by the Buddha hall, all while we are meeting with the monks' hall, variety in their flowers becomes more and more abundant, and light in their colours deepens layer upon layer. On top of that, in the monks' hall now the plate is taken and it cracks into the clouds. In the Buddha hall now a bamboo mouth organ is blown and it resounds to the water's bottom. At such times my late master would accidentally begin to play a plum blossom tune. That is, my late master, the eternal Buddha, would say, "It is the time when Gautama lost the eye, in the snow a single twig of plum blossoms. Now every place has become a thorn, yet I laugh at the swirling of the spring wind." Now the Tathagata's eye has accidentally become plum blossoms, while the plum blossoms now have turned into all-pervading thorns. The Tathagata is hiding his body in the eye, and the eye is hiding its body in the plum blossoms. The plum blossoms, having hidden their bodies in thorns, are now blowing back at the spring wind. And though it may be so, we can simply enjoy the music of the plum blossoms. My late master Tendo, the eternal Buddha, says, "What Ryun has seen is peach blossoms blooming. What Tendo has seen is peach blossoms falling." Remember, peach blossoms blooming are what Ryun has seen. He has arrived directly at the present and has no further doubts. Peach blossoms falling are what Tendo has seen. Peach blossoms opening at the prompting of the spring wind, and peach blossoms fall being hated by the spring wind. The spring wind deeply hates the peach blossoms, but as the peach blossoms fall, we will drop off body and mind. Shōbōgenzō, Udonge, preached to the assembly at Kippo Temple in Etsu on the 12th day of the second lunar month in the second year of Kangen, 1244. Good. I hope that's recorded this time. Take care.